From these, 20 something minutes, I've learned so much. And then you've opened my mind also to so much. And I hope that we can have some time to ask you some questions. And I would like to be actually the first to ask you a question. And I might also interact with you maybe later on to follow up on a few things that you mentioned here. Very fascinating and very interesting. And I would like to move to Sayyid Abdullah Gillani Saab, a tremendous personality. I'm very lucky to know him here in Islamabad. I would like to listen to him now, the official representative of Janab Sayyid Ali Gillani Saab in Pakistan. Janab Gillani Saab, the floor is yours.
Shukriya Ahmad Saab. Nahmaduhu wa nusalli ala rasulihil kareem. A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajeem. Rabbi shrah li sadri wa yassir li amri wahlul 'uqdatam min lisani yafqahu qawli. Rabbi zidni ilman walhiqni bis salihin. Subhanaka la ilma lana illa ma 'allamtana innaka antal alimul hakim. Distinguished panelists, it's indeed an honor and a great pleasure to be part of this special event with all of you today. Let me express my sincere appreciation to the Sitara-o-Hilal Foundation and Sadaf Kashmiri, and of course to Ibrahim Hassan Murad Sahab for making this possible. Coming to the topic, Kashmir, ground reality, Indian thinking and the international understanding. As we all know, the ground reality is a deciding factor in gauging and evaluating the situation accurately. मैं मोहतरम फाइज साहब के साथ कुछ चीज़ों में एग्री करता हूँ और बल्कि सभी चीज़ों में एग्री करता हूँ, but the nutshell result of all these advocacy, diplomacy, and our lobbying efforts and skills is actually forcing me to take this discussion to the other side, and which I believe is a side or the facts which are based on the principle. We seem to live in an era where ground reality is often consigned to oblivion in deciding the gravity and the criticality of a situation. And Kashmir is a typical case in point. Ladies and gentlemen, the one ground reality is that the Kashmir has remained constant since the very birth of Kashmir issue, is the way the Kashmiri people view Indian presence in the region. The whole world knows that the Kashmiri people see Indian presence in Kashmir as an occupying force. There has been a popular uprising against India for decades now. The whole world knows that the Indian forces have committed egregious human rights violation, human rights abuses, even war crimes to crush these popular uprisings in Kashmir. The whole world knows that the Indian forces operate in Kashmir with absolute impunity. But all this and much more has not been reason enough to warrant a serious and meaningful international intervention in Kashmir. India's thinking from the very beginning has been that Kashmir is an internal affair, and therefore no outside intervention is called for. And India Unfortunately, I would say unfortunately, India appears to have successfully convinced the international community too that everything is under control and they don't need to worry about it. And I think that's why, perhaps that's why the international community didn't pay much attention to India's August 5th, 2019 brazen aggression. And the response the world over remained largely muted. We may have found a momentary solace in the fact that United Nations Security Council convened a special session on Kashmir in decades. But the bitter truth is that Security Council even didn't bother to issue a statement on the issue. This should give us a fair measure of the international understanding of Kashmir. That's why I say all our advocacy, diplomacy, and the lobbying efforts and skills came to naught, and India had its own way, unashamed, unscathed. Ladies and gentlemen, so much has happened and changed in Kashmir in the 1.5 years after August 5th, 2019. Kashmir has been bifurcated. It has been turned into a union territory. The fear of demographic change, the pro-freedom leadership has been voicing for a long time, is now turning into a reality. Kashmir is being thrown up to Indian corporate houses. Thousands of acres of land is being offered to them to set up businesses and industries. Thousands of acres of land have been earmarked to build military colonies for Indian soldiers. India has and continues to enact laws aimed at ensuring that the Kashmir loses its Islamic identity and the Kashmiri Muslims turn into a minority in their own land. All this is taking place under the silent stare of the international community. But let me assure you, despite all this, what hasn't changed is the Kashmiri people's resolve to take their struggle into its logical conclusion. There's no way back for us. The events after August 5th, 2019, and the international community's deafening silence over them has only made us realize that we are alone in this fight. However, it hasn't broken us. It hasn't weakened us. और मैं एक बात यहाँ पे अर्ज करूं आखिर में, क्योंकि मैं चाहता हूं कि जो site, the site which I have showed actually here, I know it's a contrary to what Faisab has said, but the fact of matter is what we believe, that is the factual, the ground reality and the Indian thinking and the international community's understanding of Kashmir. And मैं आखिर में ये बात अर्ज करना चाहूंगा कि फाइज साहब ने फरमाया कि अब हमने क्या करना है. We have a pen, हमारे पास academicians है, we have scholars with us. But मैं एक चीज अर्ज करना चाहूंगा यहाँ पे, हमारे पाकिस्तानी भाई बैठे हुए हैं, हमारे सन्स ऑफ सॉइल बैठे हुए हैं यहाँ. मुझे ये बताइए, ये सब चीजें जो है करने की, ये तो कोल्ड वॉर टैक्टिक्स होते हैं, जहां पे एक खामोश तहरीक चल रही हो अपने मकसद को पूरा करने के लिए और उसको बिल्ड करने के लिए, उसको आगे बढ़ाने के लिए ये रीइंफोर्समेंट, ये सपोर्ट्स आप मुहैया करते हैं. वी आर इन अ वॉर. हमारे यहां तो डेली मैसेकर्स हो रहे हैं. कोई ऐसा दिन नहीं गुजर रहा है कश्मीर में जब हमारे नौजवान बच्चे नहीं मारे जा रहे. हमारी जो सिचुएशन है وہ یہ ہے کہ جنگل میں ایک شیرنی جو ہے اس کے بچے جو ہے ایک ہاتھی نے اپنے پاؤں کے تلے دبوچے ہوئے، اور مجھے معاف کیجئے گا، شیرنی جو ہے اپنا حسب و نسب بھول چکی ہے اور اس نے کوئی اور رول ایزیوم کیا ہے، اور اس رول کے نتیجے میں جو اس نے ایزیوم کیا ہے وہ چیخ رہی ہے، چلا رہی ہے، میرے بچوں کو ہاتھی نے دبوچا ہے، ان کو نکالیے ہاتھی کے پنجوں سے۔ مجھے صرف آپ یہ بتائیے کیا شیرنی کی یہ چیخ و پکار جو ہے جسٹیفائیڈ ہے؟ کیا اس کا اپنا حسب و نسب جو ہے بھول کر کسی اور رول کو ایزیوم کرنا، کیا یہ جسٹیفائیڈ ہے؟ میں اس سوال کے ساتھ آپ سب دوستوں کو چھوڑتا ہوں۔ تھینک یو ویری مچ۔